Good morning and welcome to the graduation ceremony of the 62nd Academy. I'm Lieutenant Andrew Thielen and I have the privilege of being the Training Academy Director. I'm also honored to be the Master of Ceremonies for this event. At this time, the cadets of the 62nd Training Academy will be marching into the arena to their Academy cadence.
Mark time, forward! Left. There's a story that needs to be told. There's a story that needs to be told. About the gold. About the maroon, about the gold. The story goes and so they say. The story goes and so they say. Sacrifice the price to pay. Minnesota State Patrol. King of the road can follow me. Nothing in this world is free. A trooper's life was made for me. Started out in 29. That's the trooper's game of mine. Time is come and time is gone. And the tradition marches on. Minnesota State Patrol. King of the road can follow me. Nothing in this world is free. A trooper's life was made for me. They want to start to chill in the air. Shouting troopers everywhere. Should I stay and feel the glow? Cut me in and good to go. Minnesota State Patrol. King of the road can follow me. Nothing in this world is free. A trooper's life was made for me. The train is hard, the train is long. Shut us the right way from the wrong. We'll stick it out and make it clear.
Please stand as the State Patrol Honor Guard posts the colors. After the colors are posted, Cadet Ryan Lee will sing the national anthem. Uniformed personnel, please stand at attention. Non-uniformed personnel, please place your right hand over your heart.
Uniform personnel, present arms!
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Uniform personnel, order, arms!
Audience, please be seated.
Uniform personnel, take seats!
Thank you, Cadet Lee. At this time, I'd like to invite Minnesota Army National Guard Chaplain, Major Keith Beckwith, up to the stage so he can offer some opening reflections.
On behalf of the Minnesota State Chaplain's Office, we love the enduring relationship that we have of building partnerships with the Minnesota National Guard and the State Patrol. Please join me as I bless this occasion. Almighty God, we gather here on this occasion to celebrate the culmination of hard work and endurance required in equipping Minnesota State Patrol troopers seated here today. I pray that they sense your protection in mind, body, and spirit as they leverage their training and step into this role in a time in which our nation and state are in turmoil and tension. I pray that these men and women would know the support of those who appreciate those who place themselves in harm's way while others run from danger. As the sacred text says, do what is right, and they will honor you, for they are servants sent for your good. But if you are doing wrong, of course you should be afraid, for they have the power to punish you. They are your servants sent for the very purpose of punishing those who do what is wrong. As servants sent for the very purpose of enforcing the law for those who would do wrong, I pray that you may demonstrate integrity in and out of uniform as you serve and protect the citizens of this great state. Finally, Almighty God, grant them courage to face and conquer fears, to go where others will not go, strength of body and strength of spirit to lead and protect others, compassion for those in need, and through all of this, guide them with wisdom and a keen discerning mind as they make crucial decisions in the carrying out of their duties. I pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Beckwith. Director of Training, Captain Eric Barthel, will provide some opening remarks.
Welcome. And to the 62nd Academy, welcome to the family of the Minnesota State Patrol. Being able to gather in person once again to celebrate this momentous occasion is joyous. You have endured an extremely long journey, one that began nearly a year ago. From the moment you applied, and some of you twice, due to the cancellation of the original academy, have long awaited this day. Some of you with enthusiasm, some with trepidation, some with a complicated mix of emotions. However, whatever those feelings were, today you should feel a strong sense of pride. You did it. To the family and friends gathered here today, and those that are watching online, we are delighted to have you here to participate in the 62nd Academy of the Minnesota State Patrol. That many of you have traveled long distance serves to remind us all just how important this event and our work is. Thank you for being a part of this significant occasion. I know you have an incredible amount of pride in the graduates as well. To our distinguished guests, we are honored here to have you today. We are honored to have you here today. Senator Gazelka, Senator Howe, Representative Doubt, Commissioner Harrington, Assistant Commissioner Hodges. We appreciate the time that you've taken with us today. To the rest of the law enforcement family, your presence signifies the unity of the profession as we work towards a common goal. There are many others in attendance with whom I would love to acknowledge. However, the list is long and I'm afraid I would miss someone. Graduates, their presence here today shows their support for you, and I know they take great pride and satisfaction in your accomplishments. This would not be the most prestigious of graduations if not for your attendance. On behalf of the 62nd Academy, welcome. It's a pleasure to see so many of you here. Graduates, take a breath, turn the page. You are on the next chapter of your journey in one of the greatest professions I know. We are fortunate to work for some of the greatest leaders this agency has seen who truly care not only about your professional skills, but your personal well-being. These leaders exemplify the core values of the Minnesota State Patrol that have been instilled in you over the last 14 weeks. We are also fortunate to work alongside some of the brightest, most dedicated men and women in this state. They are the men and women of the Minnesota State Patrol. So graduates, enjoy the next chapter and welcome to our family. At this time, it's my pleasure to announce Commissioner Harrington to present his congratulatory remarks. Commissioner?
Breathe. Even those of you that got the masks on, you got to breathe. So, as we prepare to send you out of this graduation onto the highways of the state, I want you to know that I realize that transformation has taken place. I got to see you, I think, my first vaccination shot when you were all still recruits up at Ripley. The Minnesota State Patrol continues to develop as an organization, as a department that reflects the people that we serve. And I am so very proud of the organization for the job they've done in recruiting, in hiring, and yes, having watched the really, really tough training you guys and gals went through for such a diverse force. You're going to go out to serve a community where over 100 different languages are spoken. And today, as you go forth from this place, you're going to bring new meaning to that classic phrase, a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Your recruit class is an example of the diversity of our community, with almost 30% of your class being women and people of color, and more to come. What makes the Minnesota State Patrol so special? I think it's a legacy of excellence in policing, but not just policing, but policing in partnership with the great citizens of the state of Minnesota. It's incumbent upon each of you and each of us to take advantage of every opportunity to build bridges across Minnesota that helps foster a safe one Minnesota. That means every traffic stop, every crash is an opportunity for you to connect with our community. In the words of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one of us directly affects us all. Never forget that traffic stop you make tomorrow may well save a life long down the road that you may never see. 2020 and 2021 are years that none of us will soon forget, not the least of you who had to apply twice. The need for the State Patrol has never, ever been greater, as far as I can tell. And during Minneapolis and St. Paul's darkest days, when fires raged out of control and the looters prowled the streets looking for easy prey, at that moment when people were losing hope, there stood the maroon and gold, holding the line in front of the Target Midway, saying, "Not on our watch, not in our community." In the dark of the night came the Minnesota State Patrol with our partners from Hennepin and the National Guard to say, we're not losing. And the Lake Street community stopped burning. It is said that one should never doubt that a small group of committed individuals can change the world. And I will tell you that Colonel Langer's people have shown how true that statement is. I know you have worked very hard throughout the academy to earn the shield that will soon be pinned upon your chest. And I want to tell you here and now that every day you must earn the right to wear that shield. It is your integrity and your adherence to high ethical values that gives you the right to wear a shield. Integrity, has been said, is doing right where there is no one to make you do it but yourself. And when you're on a long stretch of empty highway and you have an opportunity to do the right thing, I have confidence in you that you will always make that decision. The Minnesota State Patrol Academy has taken you from citizens to recruits, and now we stand ready with you to administer an oath that will send you on to the next phase of a grand journey. I trust that each and every one of you are ready and willing to join those of us who have accepted the mantle of service and who willingly walk the dark places to keep our community safe and peaceful. To the family and friends and those online or who are here today to stand witness to your oath and to cheer you on, I have one simple request. Keep our newest public servants close to your heart. And remember, you knew them before they wore the maroon and gold. In closing, troopers, I give you these instructions. They're the instructions that I have offered every department that I have served in, and they're instructions that I live and serve by. You are to be an instrument of peace. Where there is hatred, you are to sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, let the maroon and gold bring joy. Congratulations to you all, troopers, and welcome aboard.
Thank you, Commissioner Harrington. At this time, I would like to welcome the Chief of the Minnesota State Patrol, Colonel Matt Langer, to provide his commencement address. Colonel Langer.
Thanks, Lieutenant, and thanks everyone for being here. I kind of joked with the chaplain that if I opened this drawer and my papers weren't there, it would be the things that nightmares have made of for me. I want to echo what the Commissioner said and offer you my permission, my request that you take a deep breath. It's something we talked about on day one of the Academy, and I think it's important to do right now. But before we begin with my remarks, I just wanted to say a few hours north of here, there's a group assembled for a very different reason, because they're assembled today with our DNR brothers and sisters mourning the loss of a peace officer in our state, mourning the loss of Conservation Officer Sarah Grell. And while we balanced by celebrating today with having staff here, we have equal or just as many attending the funeral today. A family that runs deep in law enforcement in Minnesota is grieving the loss of one of their own, and a family that has deep connections to the Minnesota State Patrol as well. That said, I'll transition to why we are here today and say, wow, this is one of the moments that I look forward to every single year as my job being colonel. And this year we have two of those moments, because on this side of the aisle we actually have our Lido cadets with us today. I'm glad you could come, because our Lido candidates are going to witness this graduation ceremony knowing that their moment, their opportunity comes later this year to do the exact same thing that our 62nd class is going to do today. I want to thank the Governor, Commissioner Harrington, Assistant Commissioner Hodges, and all of the members of the Department of Public Safety who help in our hiring process and for their support of the Minnesota State Patrol. Our partnership with the Minnesota National Guard is also incredible. Major General Sean Mankey, General Lowell Cruz, and the entire staff at Camp Ripley are invaluable to our ability to train the next generation of state troopers. And our staff, our support staff, our sworn staff, in particular our training staff, they pour their hearts and souls into the development of others, and it is amazing to see their passion firsthand as they carry on a remarkable legacy that started back in 1929. The mission of the State Patrol is about traffic safety. We believe and we know that we can make a difference through our work related to assistance, education, and enforcement. Those elements of our mission statement, when skillfully applied by the members of our agency, do make our roads safer. And yet, sadly, today, we're standing in the midst of a large increase in traffic fatalities. Our work to combat that rise in tragedy is occurring as we speak, and we are thankful today to be adding to our ranks, because that means our ability to make a difference on our roads increases. Our mission impacts every single Minnesotan, whether you walk, bike, drive, or ride from point A to B, or love someone who does. Our work matters. The manner in which we do our work also matters. We have core values, values that we believe in, values that we would rather suffer as a result of than ever give up on. These are not just words for our organization. These are values on and off the job that we believe in and we own. The first is respect. We treat others with respect, And while we are not always on the receiving end of respect from others, we do exemplify respect in our words and our actions. In fact, Maya Angelou once said famously that people will forget what you say, they will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. We know this to be true. Just a couple weeks ago, a woman sent a note to one of our district offices saying that while she admitted she was wrong and she was disappointed to be pulled over, she wanted to express her thankfulness because she was treated with kindness by Trooper James Lanou. Now that's a day-to-day example with a traffic stop, but the same is true on the other end of the spectrum, like when Trooper Brian Bierce used an unconventional strategy to stop a dangerous pursuit in the Little Falls area with a woman who was clearly in mental health crisis and had 2 young kids in her car. Trooper Bierce skillfully and competently dealt with the driver and her 2 young children, all while demonstrating respect and complete mastery when it comes to de-escalation. A few days later, a testament to how Trooper Bierce treated that woman, her mother brought cookies to the district office to express her thanks to the trooper for helping her daughter that day. Treating others with respect is paramount in every one of your interactions. Integrity, we tell the truth. Integrity is the one thing that cannot be taken from you. You have to give it away. Never do that. Our legitimacy as an organization, as a profession, and as an individual relies on integrity. Nothing else matters if we cannot be trusted in this profession. Courage. It takes courage to do this work. It always has and it always will. But it takes particular courage to enter the arena, as President Teddy Roosevelt described it in 1910. And it seems fitting that we are literally here in an arena today. His famous quote, used by many contemporaneous authors on leadership, starts by saying, "It is not the critic who counts, not the person who points out how the strong person stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the person who is actually in the arena. And today that is you. It took courage to enter the academy, to enter the profession, and yes, to enter the arena. Never let go of the courage to continue showing up to make a difference. Honor. We honor those who have gone before us. You certainly know our fallen troopers by name. We honor them through our actions. In honoring those who have come before us, we embrace the responsibility we have to continue preparing the Minnesota State Patrol for the future. We are fortunate to be standing on the shoulders of others. Each time you wear this uniform, you are representing every other past, present, and future state trooper. And each time I wear mine, I am representing you. There should be gravity to that feeling because it matters. And finally, excellence. We talked about this on day one. You heard it every single day. You cannot graduate the Minnesota State Patrol Academy without demonstrating a commitment to excellence. Excellence is not perfection. Excellence is about reflecting on your actions in pursuit of something better. Excellence is a journey, not a destination. It is not about being first. It is about being the best we can be. Why? Because sometimes being in first place might not be good enough. Excellence is something we must each own individually if we wish to be viewed with excellence as an organization. One of the best-selling psychology books of all time is by M. Scott Peck, The Road Less Traveled. I remember reading it a long time ago, and although I forgot most of it, I do remember the first sentence of this book because it's 3 words. He started by saying, "Life is difficult," which seems a little heavy for the opening line of a self-help book, but it's true. And once you realize that truth, it brings perspective. Life is about experiences. Actually, Peck says, quote, "Life is a series of problems." Again, not very inspirational, but he goes on to say you have to choose whether or not you wish to moan about them or solve them. He talks about discipline as a key to navigating life he explains that without any discipline, you cannot solve any problems. With some discipline, you can solve some problems. You can see where this is going. Yes, with total discipline, you can solve all problems. And this is true of the Academy. Without a doubt, if we were writing a book about the Academy, a fitting first line would be, "The Academy is difficult." And if the written word wasn't enough, opening Wake Up on the very first day of the Academy certainly brings a whole new reality to the word difficult. But you dug in. You worked hard, you pulled together as a team, and you grew. You had the courage to be in the arena that day. And you stayed because you believed in yourself. And by believing in yourself, you believed in each other. You exhibited discipline. Not some discipline, because that is not excellence. Instead, you demonstrated total discipline. And in the end, as you marched in here today, I could feel that you believed you could solve all problems, not by yourself, but together, and now with the rest of the organization. Discipline is indeed a very good thing. So far, if you're keeping track, I've quoted Maya Angelou, Teddy Roosevelt, and M. Scott Peck. So it would make sense then to turn our attention to Rafael Nadal, right? Arguably one of the greatest tennis players ever. In a recent 60 Minutes interview, Nadal said a couple of things that I think are relevant here today as we commemorate your graduation, a moment that represents the beginning of your career. First, Nadal was asked about his admission that he actually has doubt about his game every time he steps on the court. Seems odd when you kind of think about professional athletes, and certainly for one of the best tennis players of all time. But Nadal explain how he thinks about self-doubt as a motivator. It's not a negative for him, it's a positive thing. He believes it's healthy to have doubt. Why? Because it keeps you from being arrogant. And that is good advice for us. Arrogance is a quick path to trouble, every time. Do not confuse confidence with arrogance. These are two totally different things. And with two totally different results if we are concerned with how they make people feel after interacting with us. Motorists will remember confidence positively, and they will remember arrogance negatively every time, guaranteed. Second, Nadal was asked how many rackets he has destroyed while on the court. In fact, comparing him to some of his competitors who have a history of slamming rackets out of frustration after a loss. His answer, 0. Why? Nadal said destroying a racket would demonstrate losing control of his emotions, and his family would not allow that behavior. This academy experience was transformational. You were put under intense stress and deprived of sleep. You learned from that experience and you grew. You honed your ability to maintain control over your emotions. This analogy between policing and tennis might be unconventional, but it's important. Do not lose control of your emotions. It's not who we are as an organization. It's not who we are as state troopers. And as part of a family, we don't allow it of each other. Take care of yourself on this journey, just like you have in the academy, by being intentional about your own self-care, physically, mentally, and spiritually, but also by being intentional about taking care of each other. Human beings are remarkably resilient. The State Patrol is remarkably resilient. That is because we look after each other. We care about each other with intention. And as you enter the first hours of your career, let me share an email I received earlier this year from a trooper on his very last day. He said, as I look back on my 32-year career in law enforcement, the great times, the really dark times, and all of the families I have become close with through all of the investigations I worked, there is nothing I would change. It is in those darkest times that our true character is tested. It is in the times things did not go the way I wanted that God gave me the opportunity to improve and grow. And without growth, I would not be who I am today, a proud Minnesota State Trooper entering the last few hours of a phenomenal career. In closing, there's good in the world. We have the opportunity to be purveyors of everything excellent about policing. When I first started, the general order on our uniform required us to wear our campaign hats at a jaunty angle. Now, plain language has removed that term for something that makes more sense when you first read it, but I think it still applies. Jaunty, if you look it up, means having or expressing a lively, cheerful, and self-confident manner. Be jaunty today and for your entire career. I support you. I support your families. I am thankful for you earning the ability to walk across this stage today and become a Minnesota State Trooper. And last but not least, remember that badge that you are about to wear and be pinned on your uniform is a symbol of public trust. Think about that each and every time you shine it and put it on your uniform. Congratulations and welcome to the State Patrol.
Thank you, Colonel Langer. Each class honors one of its members by selecting them to speak on behalf of the entire class. This year, the 62nd class has selected Cadet Patrick Fay.
On February 21st, I dreamt of today, graduation day. At 4:28 a.m. on Monday, February 22nd, in the 62nd Academy's peaceful sleep, maybe not so peaceful, was abruptly disturbed by the sound of Academy staff's voices. My thoughts changed to graduation day couldn't come quick enough. Good morning and welcome to the graduation of the 62nd Academy. My name is Patrick Fay and I am honored to be standing up here in front of you. I was given this honor by a vote of my peers to speak on behalf of the class. Fellow cadets, I am humbled to be chosen for this opportunity, to share a glimpse of what the 62nd Academy cadets have gone through these past 14 weeks. A phoenix is a bird that rises from the ashes that came before them. A phoenix has become a symbol of determination and resilience for the cadets, which is why we chose the phoenix as our class symbol. Back in June of 2020, many of us applied for this academy, only to find out a month and a half into the process, it was canceled for budgetary reasons. It wasn't until a strong group of leaders stood up to make the funding approved for the 62nd Academy. On behalf of myself and the 62nd class, I would like to thank Colonel Langer and all other leadership involved helping to make the approval happen so we can be standing here today. We'd like to take a moment to recognize the Academy staff, a group of troopers who have taken time to lend us their experiences, talents, and stern voices to help us be the best that we can be. Thank you, Sergeant Cruiser, Sergeant Matfield, Sergeant Morrell, Sergeant Wenzel, Trooper Radine, Trooper Klatt, and Trooper Lorenzen for your dedication to this process. The work as a staff officer is not an easy task. Not only do you undertake being gone from your own families, but you have pushed our class to our physical, mental, and emotional limits over the last 14 weeks, and for that, we are grateful. It's no secret that this academy puts an immense amount of stress on the cadets, although we knew we were in for a journey. We'd like to take a moment to recognize our family, friends, and all those who have supported us along the way. While we were busy marching into walls and snowbanks, our family and friends were making it possible for us to focus on making it through week by week. The men and women of the 62nd Academy would like each and every one of you to know how sincerely appreciative we are for everything you have done. Without those Wednesday night "we're all good" phone calls, letters received, and helping us unpack on Friday nights just to get ready to leave on Sundays, it's very likely we wouldn't have made it through this academy. We'd also like to congratulate Cadet Freeman and his family in welcoming a baby boy during the academy, as well as Cadet Goebel and Cadet Quirk on their engagements that happened on those quick weekends home. Today, when you all watched the 62nd Academy march into this arena, you saw one unified group of polished, professional, soon-to-be troopers. For those of you that didn't have the pleasure of being in the billet on Monday, February 22nd, 2021, Let me paint a picture of just how far we've come. At 4:28 a.m., the Academy staff turned the lights on, started to pound loudly on our doors, and announced that we needed to get up and get ready. Cue chaos. None of us knew what get ready meant, and it definitely showed. Most cadets threw on PT gear, which is basically a sweatshirt and sweatpants, while some came out of their rooms in their uniforms. After looking around at each other, cadets hustled back into their rooms and changed, vice versa. We needed to get ready and make our way to meet with Lieutenant Thielen. And when we did, that was the beginning of 14 of the hardest weeks of our lives. It wasn't until a week later that we were let in on a secret. Lieutenant Thielen had been standing in the hallways the entire time, and I'm sure chuckling under his mask. Each day following, we had versions of the chaos of that morning on repeat. But as the days and weeks went on, we knew which uniform to wear when, perfectly pressed uniforms, and eventually earning our tie tack, name tag, and our cadet badge. Over the past 14 weeks, when my wife would share with other people where I was, she would get asked, why would he want to do that? And why would anyone want to go into law enforcement right now with the state of the world? The short answer is because we are courageous. John Paul, a German writer, once said, "Courage consists not in blindly overlooking danger, but in seeing it and conquering it." Fellow cadets, we demonstrated our courage when we showed up on Sunday afternoons, when we signed up for an academy, when we knew we would be tased and maced. And now we demonstrate courage as we make our way into our districts to do our part in keeping Minnesota roads safer. As we leave today, we will remember that we are courageous, and even though we can see the danger in front of us, we have been given the best possible training to conquer it. Resilient 62nd. As I look at all of you today in our Class A uniforms with mirror-polished boots, perfectly aligned gig lines, and marching like a team, I can't help but think back to day one, when some of us came online with no boots, no socks, not to mention not having time to shower, shave, or brush our teeth. There were days when it seemed impossible. There were Sundays when many of us didn't want to come back. Throughout it all, we have come together to become one class that has proven that we can do anything we put our minds to. From this moment on, we shouldn't need to have to struggle with carrying a traffic cone in our front seat because we hit too many of them on the EVOC track, or marching the class in a circle several times before heading in the right direction, or hearing from across the room, "I can see you, cadets. I'm always watching." And hopefully, we can take more than a 1.7-minute shower. While the days were long, I will forever be grateful for the experiences of the Academy and going through that with all of you. I look forward to working alongside each and every one of you as a trooper with the Minnesota State Patrol, helping to reduce the number of fatal crashes and high speeds on Minnesota roads. Back in February, the 25 individuals you see before you arrived at Camp Ripley as bankers, Costco workers, and local law enforcement officers who were hopeful and excited while also having a little bit of a nervous stomachache at the same time. Today, you see one unit, the 62nd Academy graduates of the Minnesota State Patrol. Today, we will take an oath to be sworn in as troopers with the Minnesota State Patrol, and by taking that oath, we promise to uphold the core values of the agency: respect, integrity, courage, honor, and excellence. As we transition from one cohesive group of cadets to our individual districts, we will always remember that we are one Minnesota State Patrol.
Thank you, Cadet Fay. At this time, the 62nd class will retire the guidon. One of the ways in the Academy to build pride as a class and individually was the use of the guidon. A guidon is an individually designed flag used to identify a unit or class when marching. Each class personalizes their guidon by designing and adding a streamer with their class identity. The 62nd Academy chose the Resilient 62nd to identify themselves. I agree that this class chose the name wisely after reading the reasoning behind the name that they provided. The guidon is used to stress the goals that the class is working toward and to show pride in the organization they wish to belong to. Academy staff presents the guidon to one individual that has shown outstanding performance, high motivation, exceptional leadership, or other similar characteristics. The cadet chosen becomes the guidon bearer, and they carry the guidon until Academy staff passes it to another deserving cadet. The guidon is required to be with the class at all times and must lead the class on group marches and runs. Cadet Quirk will now retire the guidon to Sergeant Preston Cruiser, and it will be put in safekeeping until it is introduced at the 63rd Academy to carry on this proud tradition. The 62nd Training Academy has 2 awards to recognize class members attaining the highest level of accomplishment in the following categories: academics and the Chief's Achievement Award. The Academic Achievement Award will be presented first. This award is presented to the Minnesota State Patrol Academy graduate who attains the overall highest academic scores during the academy. This is no small accomplishment, considering the amount of material presented in a short period of time, along with the high standards and intellect of all the graduates. The Academic Achievement Award for the 62nd class is presented to Cadet Timothy Knudsen. This year, we had a second Academic Achievement Award that was presented to Alexander Vuklich. The Chief's Achievement Award is based on excellence in overall performance in the 7 Academy objectives. They include professionalism, leadership, accountability, discipline, esprit de corps, individual basic tasks, and physical fitness, along with demonstrating all of the 5 Minnesota State Patrol core values of respect, integrity, courage, honor, and excellence. The Chief's Achievement Award for the 62nd class is presented to Cadet Valerie Hauser. At this time, I would ask if you are pinning the badge on one of the cadets, please proceed to the right hand of the stage and line up, and Academy staff will assist you in doing so. Badge 78, Patrick Fay, being pinned by his wife, Jamie, and accompanied by his daughters, Haley and Whitney. Badge 500, Alexander Vuklich, being pinned by his parents, John and Liz Vuklich. Badge 290, Zachary Groover, being pinned by his wife, Madison Groover. Badge 248, Herbert Moon, being pinned by his wife, Lori, and accompanied by their children, Ava, Grayson, and Addie. Badge 232, Nolan Goebel, being pinned by his fiancée, Caitlin Pearson, and accompanied by his parents, Mike and Amy Goebel. Badge 4, Timothy Knutson, being pinned by his wife, Leah Knutson. Badge 289, Colin Adair, being pinned by his fiancée, Courtney Killian. Badge 181, Jacob Inglet, being badged or pinned by his parents, Lisa and Mark Inglet. Badge 6, Valerie Hauser, being pinned by retired State Patrol Sergeant Jim Martins. Badge 89, Atana Johnson, being pinned by her father, Lonnie Johnson. Badge 40, Nathan Walbaum, being pinned by his stepdad, Sean Hawkins, and accompanied by his friends, Sean Holfert and Cody Bannert. Badge 281, Hannah Potts, being pinned by her father, Richard Potts, and accompanied by her fiancé, Michael Horimosa. Badge 14, James Quirk, being pinned by his parents, Karen and Pat, and accompanied by his fiancée, Kelly Maurer. Badge 303, Mihai Strogitiano, being pinned by his cousin, Eugene Strogitiano. Badge 9, Benjamin Bauer, being pinned by his parents, Christopher and Cheryl, and accompanied by his girlfriend, Haley Olson. It's okay, Mom, he'll do well. Badge 152, Chaz Barrera, being pinned by his girlfriend, Emma Ketting, and accompanied by his sister, Paige Barrera, and father, Cleo Barrera. Badge 246, Cody Swenson. Being pinned by his brother-in-law, Andrew Larson. Badge 241, Bennett Sokolsky, being pinned by his parents, John and Katie Sokolsky. Badge 262, Cole Lundeen, being pinned by his father, Trooper Mike Lundeen, and mother, Angie Lundeen, accompanied by his girlfriend, Ashley Peterson. Badge 201, Benjamin Doran, being pinned by his girlfriend, Elizabeth Sabrowski. Badge 239, Lucas Bachman, being pinned by his parents, Brian and Kathy Bachman, accompanied by his girlfriend, Jordan Peters, and sister, Caitlin Bachman. Badge 265, Gabriel Jones, being pinned by his parents, Daniel and Leanne Jones. Badge 302, Ryan Lee, being pinned by his parents, Che and Chow Lee. Badge 23, Matthew Wooding, being pinned by his mother, Lisa Olkers, and accompanied by his father, Steve Wooding. Badge 5-4, Marshall Freeman, being pinned by his wife, Olivia Freeman, and accompanied by their kids, Marshall and Skylar. Colonel Langer will now administer the oath of office to the new troopers. Uniformed personnel, please stand. Covers on.
If everyone sworn members of the State Patrol, please rise and put your hats on and repeat after me.
Cadets, that's you all.
That's the cadets. We've already done it. But in keeping with the tradition of the Minnesota State Patrol, I do invite all of our current members of the organization to reaffirm their oath in addition to the cadets taking the oath today as they become Minnesota State Troopers. So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the State of Minnesota, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of State Patrol Trooper, employed and designated under, and pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 299D, and all acts amendatory thereto, to serve the state of Minnesota and the United States of America honestly and faithfully, and at all times fulfill my oath as State Patrol Trooper to be loyal to my supervisors and fellow troopers, and obey and enforce the law without fear, favor, or discrimination as to class, color, race, or creed, to help those in danger or distress, and if necessity arise, lay down my life rather than swerve from the path of duty, and to conduct myself at all times in accordance with the highest moral standards, and never commit any act that will reflect discredit on the Minnesota State Patrol or any member thereof. All this I solemnly swear to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the most recent graduates of the Minnesota State Patrol and our newest troopers, the 62nd class. Congratulations.
Class remain standing. Troopers, you may take your seats. I'd like to personally congratulate the graduating class of the 62nd Training Academy and I wish you the best of luck in your future careers as Minnesota State Troopers. Please stand now as the Honor Guard will retrieve the colors. Audience and uniformed personnel, if you'd please take your seats. I'd like to thank you all for attending the graduation ceremony of the 62nd State Patrol Training Academy. Refreshments will be served in the mezzanine area up above over here to the right. And please drive safely on your journeys home. Thank you.